I think we should probably treat data and content like we do diet. In 10 years' time, I will look back and I'll go, I can't believe I did that myself.
Yeah. And that is scary, isn't it? It's fine.
You can swear.
Okay. I'm not interested in it.
Hey, everyone. Big thanks for supporting the podcast. We really do appreciate it. If you want to hear more from us, hit the subscribe button or press the bell icon for future updates. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Mike.
Thank
You
you.
want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Mike Jessop, Digital Acquisition Director.
You look confused.
Well, it's because it's a title that I've ultimately given myself over the years. And
Right.
my remit and role has changed so much since then. But
Yeah.
digital acquisition.
So that is a marketing role.
It's a marketing and e-commerce role.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess.
Great. So to put it into some context of how we know you is, I used to go to school with you, but I didn't really know you at
Yeah,
school.
we didn't really hang out, did we?
We were on opposite ends of the.
You were an S.
I was, yeah,
and I
you
was
were
a
a W.
Yeah.
See what they did there?
We did.
Wolferton School.
Yeah.
W and S.
That was it.
Absolutely
I didn't
crazy.
realise
Yeah,
that.
we looked down on the S's, strangely.
Yeah, we looked down on the
Huh. W arrogance.
Oh, no, I was a W, yeah.
Were you?
Yeah,
I think
What?
W2.
I think it was just like an easy filter, wasn't it? They kind of put the best kids in the W's.
Yeah,
And
I think
then
they
the
did,
S's
yeah.
were kind of the...
To be fair, I would agree with that, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like
so-
some of the
but-
shit show
but
classes that we had in it.
I do remember looking kind of at pity
Yeah.
on you, thinking,
Yeah.
Nick should really be a W. So if that helps. But
Yeah,
we did go to school together, but we didn't hang out, did we?
We hung out. I met Luke at French Connection, and you were hanging around with Luke quite a lot. And then we were at quite a lot of parties and stuff together, weren't we?
Yeah, so Luke was in your band, and he was kind of my girlfriend's friend's boyfriend, and we kind of got to know each other through them, and I kind of hung around with Luke pretty often, really. Which, when I think about it, is the weirdest combination of people. Like, there's someone who's a big performer, big kind of charismatic guy, and then me who loves a good spreadsheet. It was a strange combination of
felt
people,
like
but it worked really well.
Yeah, he was drawn to two types of people. That was
Yeah,
one type of person that
Yeah,
was
the-
very, very extroverted, and then it was kind of the other kind of. I would say I was a lot quieter than he was, but I'm quite extroverted. But yeah, he just got on with people who he got on with. Didn't he?
He did,
Didn't
yeah.
give a shit. He didn't judge.
yeah. So I always remember, I think, attending one of your music video recordings.
Oh God. No.
But I think I just stayed in the van most of the time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't think I.
I vaguely remember that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I also vaguely remember it, so I must have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny one, really.
Good times. But then, so just on a marketing level, anyway. So how was that? How did you get into marketing, and then how did you? Because I would say you've got a really good marketing job now.
Yeah.
And if people are looking into how they get to those good marketing roles, how the hell do you get there? Profound question.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's an interesting one, really. So, I did law at university, and found it really dull, really boring. And this idea that something would be, you'd reference law from 1886.
Yeah,
You go,
yeah.
wow, that's a really boring thing.
The
And then
bill of whatever. Yeah.
exactly, and also you always kind of meet people when they're having a bit of a bad time, kind of certainly personal law.
Yes.
That type of stuff. So it wasn't really anything for me. And I remember coming back home and I had a job application for a digital agency where I could pursue my passion as a writer.
Oh, right.
Little did I know I'd be writing for robots and search engines. Or being like a legal officer for the East Riding. And that was it. That was like
That was the
like
crossroads.
choice. And then I was kind of carefree and fanciful at that time. And I went, I'm going to pursue my career as a writer. And then ended up working for an agency in Beverley. And
I remember. Yeah.
and they had, they just had loads of interesting clients. I was writing about holidays in Mauritius one day, and then working on Next the other day, and doing all these things, and it was really, really fab. And started doing agency work, realised and kind of got a reminder how much I really loved numbers, loved data.
Yep.
Kind of forgot all of that. and obviously back in the day, and I don't want to get on the old rocking chair, but we didn't, social media didn't exist.
Yeah.
And there was this thing of these guys like gaming Google, but like being able to create commercial outcomes from a really kind of subset of knowledge that was around how a website should perform and all that stuff.
It was a lot of more of a darker art.
Yeah, it was, but
SEOs.
But it was
That's
also
what I'm talking about, SEO.
Yeah, but it was also like a bit of the Wild West because there wasn't really any kind of foundations or anything.
Yeah.
So so I did agency work for a long time. Was at an agency just down here, and I got the chance to recruit a digital marketing executive for that role.
And that was me.
And that was you. And that was you, yeah.
The best decision of your life, arguably.
It depends how you determine best, I guess. But I did kind of find you, Charles, and I think the reason for that I was saying before we jumped on here was, you had your own website, you were trying stuff out, you were getting into the detail around all, how do I get people viewing this video and what does this look like and all that stuff. And I think that was kind of the driver behind it because there was no foundation for that stuff. And then after years of agencies, I got really frustrated of not being able to do everything that we wanted to do. It was always a thing of, well, we're doing SEO and PPC. I know you really want to do that, Mike, but you can't do that. And then I moved client side. Moved client side and realised that the grass is not always greener, but they have different challenges.
Yes.
They have different challenges. I think the frustrations that I had in agency of trying to move quickly, trying to get clients to move quickly, you then realise actually that's not
the same.
That's not. Yeah, they've got opposite challenges, and the reason they're taking their time is because they've got a lot more process to.
There's a lot more to unpick, isn't there? Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot more people making decisions, and people hoops to jump through.
Yeah, and exactly right. And I think the great thing I had with kind of the companies I'd worked for is they were big companies. And I've always found a real nice kind of satisfaction of moving the needle a little bit. And if I can get a 1% improvement on, £1,000 spend, or I can get a 1% improvement on £5 million spend.
Yes.
I'll get more value out of
that. Yeah,
the big ones. So I've kind of really enjoyed it. And the last kind of 10 years have been kind of e-commerce, B2B, a little bit of lead generation, loads of data. Yeah, it's been good.
We probably lean a bit more towards the B2B kind of split, don't we?
Yeah.
We've still got some B2C clients, but B2B it's difficult, isn't it? Because you don't want to shade anyone in the B2C world. It's just
it's
slightly more nuance, isn't there?
Yeah, it's more complex. I think the moment you have, a decision-making unit and you have 3 or 4 people that are going to make a decision on whether to procure a service or whatever, I think that becomes a challenge. It's not a case of me buying a pair of trainers or buying a top, it's something else. A
lot generally higher value kind of leads and
exactly. And I think that kind of buyer enablement process or that that kind of consideration phase is one way you can really lean into. We do a lot of kind of account-based marketing and that type of thing to really kind of scale getting that right content to that right person. If you're the finance guy or the marketing guy or the category guy, you can kind of do that, which I really like.
Highly targeted stuff, yeah. That's interesting. So on a broader scale, I guess you both have seen almost the inception of digital marketing. Don't you think so? So the start of it, but then the journey and how it's developed. What do you think, this is, again, it's quite a big question, but what do you think are the biggest changes in that, during that time of the internet being a tool you could kind of market? What, in your experience, this is a quick conversation, this is a question for both of you, are the biggest changes you've seen?
No, it's the data. No, it's the data that people now hold. I think that the reality now is people will spend the majority of their time on platforms that they don't pay for.
Yeah.
And this idea that it's just free and you don't have to pay for it, I think is bizarre. And I think I don't know if it was Alex Karp. He said, look, if you're using something that's free, you're the product. And I think
capitalist dream.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. And I think as a result, the amount of data that that people have now on people. I mean, God, we use like clean rooms, like data clean rooms. So we say, look, here's our data that we've got. Go to a media outlet like the Daily Mail or the Mirror or whoever, and say, right, what data do you have? And they can just kind of stitch them together. That is just eye-watering. Like the level of granularity that people have that they wouldn't even necessarily know they give away.
And just for people that are watching that may not know what we're talking about predominantly social media apps and
social media, and but look, if you
Google as well,
if you sign into Google or if you sign into a website and you use your Google account, all of your activity will be attributed to that. I always remember, God, it was at a conference we were talking about kind of remarketing audiences and this type of thing, and like, how many remarketing audiences do people have? And I was really chuffed because we had 7 different audiences for different people. This is many years ago. Things are a lot better now. And I was
in case anyone's judging you.
Yeah, that is not where we are now. And I was like, oh yeah, we've got like 7 remarketing audiences. Oh, very good. And then there was someone at I think it was actually the Daily Mail or the Telegraph, and she stood up and she did a presentation. I just said, how many audiences do you have? Well, she's nearly at 7. And she said, oh, well, we have about 24,000, but about 16,000 are active at any one time.
What?
So this is a thing where they'll say, right, for people who are based in the south of England, who are of a certain age, who are looking at stocks and shares advice or golf advice or whatever, we will bundle them up as a dynamic audience. And then if we've got a customer that says, hi, we want to engage with customers who might want to review their pension and we're offering them a service, they can then score these audiences and go, yeah, you want the people looking at cruises, looking at golfing, certain age. There's that. That level, I never even imagined in a million years we'd be doing that. And then obviously we do it more freely now with social media as well, where you kind of then get all the interest stuff, not just the stuff you interact with, but also, the people like you have also bought, lookalike audiences and things like that.
I suppose the only thing is that data is starting to go away a bit, isn't it? With the rise of like Apple's privacy push, particularly. Yeah. But Google's having to follow suit as well as a result. Like I've heard that lookalike audiences exist, but people believe they will actually be gone quite shortly. I think I can't remember which platform it is, but I think one of them has said they are sunsetting them as well. I think Meta. Yeah,
and I'm sure they will. The challenge is certainly with kind of these kind of clean room environments is you can do that outside of that platform. So granted, it might not show on, Apple might not pass data, but there's nothing stopping you speaking to an industry publication saying, hi, this is my data, it's encrypted. Yeah. Can you put your data in here that's encrypted as well? Is there an overlap? Is there a little Venn diagram where we can say, actually, that's the group of people that could be interesting for us? Like nothing stopping that.
Do you reckon that's more like a corporation level there? Corporate level? Or do you reckon that
I think
feeds into small, medium businesses as well?
Isn't that partially what's happening with things like the enhanced conversions stuff on Google and conversions API stuff? It's passing it from the server side, so it skips the client side and then passing that data.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can imagine anyone could use it in reality. I mean, don't get me wrong, the big kind of media stuff is obviously expensive, but there will be kind of middleware that allow you to do it. But I do find that like alarming.
Yes.
Super alarming. And I always kind of remember I think it's on Amazon, where they have the Amazon's really kind of good at this, where they'll say like, "Here's what you were looking at," and you go, "All right, I remember looking at that," and everyone goes, "Oh, that's that cheeky personalization bit. That's the remarketing bit. They know what I'm doing." What they you don't consider is the other things that are dotted around that you haven't looked at. They're going, "That's ideal for Nick," based on his previous behaviour, what other people who have behaved like him, that type of stuff is just, we don't have any free will anymore, Nick. There we are.
Oh, wow.
Mic drop.
Oh, my God.
No free will. There we are. Yeah, but I think that's something that we are getting quite close to that, then. I think, in that sense. Interesting.
Do you think it's hyper manipulation?
No, it's not manipulation. I think it's just if the recommendation is so good, I always remember getting stuff through the post and it wasn't relevant to me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh God, I'm not interested in this shit. Oh, not interested in this stuff.
It's fine.
You can swear.
Okay. I'm not interested in this. Yeah, just hype it up. I'm not interested in that. And you're kind of getting less of that. But then it's this idea of certainly of like social trends and like TikTok trends.
Oh God, Jesus Christ, man!
But this idea of kind of there was like these big cups. I can't remember the name of them. These big cups which had like a straw on, plastic ones.
I know. What you mean.
Yeah. Massive thing, completely.
Yeah.
They have them in there.
Yeah, the young women have got them in there.
Why have they got them in there?
Fuck knows.
Because of TikTok. Surely.
But then, there's a company in China somewhere who's made all these, or the company in America, I think it was, who've just pushed it and created demand for no other reason other than it's cool to have it. Mm-hmm. And I think that blows my brain every time.
Good marketing, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it works. I just think I don't think it's something that people necessarily know how much they give away, and I'd like to know what everyone has on me.
Yeah, 100%. Because you could you sign up to these apps on your phone and you're like, yes, of course I consent. I'm not going to be able to use Facebook if I don't.
Yeah.
But then there's so much stuff to read. No one's ever going to read it. Like the T's and C's. And even then they change them anyway. So it's like my level of knowledge is nothing compared to you guys. So it's quite interesting to get this view.
I always find it really impressive how you're going through Instagram Reels or something. I don't personally use TikTok, but Instagram Reels, you'll be going through it, and I'll get served like a shit video, like really shit, but so shit that it's funny type thing, and then it's the comments that I look at that are have me in stitches because the comments are just brilliant.
I feel like that's a relatively new thing.
Yeah, and I'll be like, how did they target me knowing that I was going to see this video, look at the comments, and find the comments funny, not the video. But the comments are funny, and that to me is that's a next level deep on the social chain of what you're enjoying. Because usually, you'd scroll through your Facebook feed, it's the content that it's serving you, not the comments. But on Reels, it's the comments that are funny. There'll be like a kid that's set up an automation bot, and it'll be anytime someone says a certain keyword, this bot automatically comments back. So then everyone in the comments is just abusing this keyword to put all sorts of shit in there that sound really nefarious and stuff. And then the kid just comments back, but it's not the kid, it's just his automation bot on his behalf that's commenting back.
Is that?
And it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
Whatever makes you laugh.
It's so funny. But stuff like that is constant, on my feed.
How have they found you? How is that niche, relatively niche thing?
Oh, that's funny.
So, we've gone from internet to search engine.
Yep.
That was probably the first, layman's terms, I'm just, there's no science behind this. I'm just blurting out shit. So search engine is probably the search engine marketing then, if there's a search engine.
Mm-hmm.
Then social media has obviously been one of the biggest, if not, in my opinion, it's one of the biggest things to probably happen to humanity.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's huge.
And so then from a marketing perspective, you could argue it's probably the biggest thing that's ever happened to marketing. And it's gone... marketing has the same principles. You're still trying to sell something to the right target audience, aren't you? But that gives you the tool to do it. So then we've gone through, like, going from the MySpace days where you had to be like a frigging web developer in order just to make a nice page. I quite liked it there.
Yeah. There was no serving of content back then, was there?
I wasn't that good at it. I just had, when you landed on a MySpace page, you'd be like,
Slipknot.
and I'd be like, yeah, you know my music.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah. You know
that's my personality
I
right
like
there.
metal. And who my top 8 friends are in the whole world.
Yeah.
And probably some girl I'm trying to date.
But then you would hide the top friends. But then if you knew the URL, you could you could get it back. So you could figure out. So people who had hidden their top friends because they didn't want you to see the top friends, but there was a way around it because the page was still loading the top friends. It just wasn't showing you it. So then you could get it back.
Wow.
Anyway, that's a top tip.
That's a top tip for
1999, 2000.
Really? Is that you could do that?
Yeah.
A hack.
What drove you to do that?
Just curiosity.
Need more self-confidence.
We'll leave that there. So then you had MySpace, then you had Facebook. That was you kind of went like this, didn't it?
But like MySpace didn't serve you content, did it? It was
no,
you had to find the people.
Yeah.
And it was don't know. What was it that did it first? Was it Facebook, Twitter?
What, from an ad perspective?
It was Facebook, wasn't it?
No, like a feed.
Algorithmically started to show you content.
Yeah, it was Facebook.
I think it was Facebook.
Yeah, Tony screenshotted something yesterday and said, I think she was like 20 when she posted it. It's like, Tony Snaith, that's what she called then, is having a productive day.
That was the last time she had one.
Yeah, and it's like, that's the type of stuff that you he's feeling rubbish today.
Yeah.
because now
that's the way it prompted the status.
Yeah, because it was like,
it?
what is on your mind?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Wanted to try and get you to post. And then that must have just started the feed.
Started the feed, yeah. And then Instagram and Twitter is now just getting there, really, a bit more.
Well, Instagram was quite profound because it used the technology, didn't it? The fact that camera phones were getting far better, and the camera on your phones were catching up to actual kind of, well, not really, but you know what I mean, enough for you to like post stuff about your life.
Yeah.
And now we've gone, like, the technology improved even more. Now video is like, you've got like on your phone, you've got an incredible video camera. So TikTok now exists, and unfortunately, but that's just not my
short form
demographic.
video is now huge, isn't it? I mean, like back in the original days of Instagram, you'd post a picture of your microwaved carbonara before your night out and share it with your friends with a sepia filter on it as well.
Yeah, sepia. Yeah.
But now it's like you're doing like someone with a phone is doing with CapCut and what is. Yeah, you're live streaming it.
So the marketing,
mukbang.
The way that marketing companies have used that. Sorry to take it back to marketing. Has developed with the technology, hasn't it?
Yeah, but that's only because they're building audiences and having them in a specific place. Like if suddenly I said, oh, actually in the car park there's every 18 to 25-year-old male with who earns
I don't need to know your target.
£30,000 a year or more is there.
True.
I'd have a load of people banging on the door going,
yeah,
can we maybe just hang around there?
Yeah.
Like that's just the same in reality.
Yeah. That's not what I'm getting at.
Oh.
So now we've got like TikTok and, like you said, platforms that are creating technology for marketeers to use. What's going to be next?
give me an A. Hey, give me an I. No, I think that's it.
AI, like, and how profound do we think this is going to get? Because on surface level, the whole AI thing could be like it is on the films. Like, you know, have you watched that? I've referenced this quite a lot, but that Hair film.
Yes.
Where he falls in love with Scarlett Johansson's AI voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be the fundamental shift. I think when you were saying before around like when the internet came out and when search engines came out, they always kind of replaced something, and I always remember like kind of having like a test to see what worked. Like, you know, if you say if I wanted to book a holiday 20 years ago. I would go and walk into a travel agent.
Yes, I remember that.
Whose literal job was to protect their data of what holidays they had available.
Yeah.
And then give you a price. Like, that was literally their job. And then I'd go and I want to buy a house. Right, well, I'll go to an estate agent and I will do this. And then if I wanted to go and buy a book, I'd go to a bookshop and do all of this stuff. And the internet kind of just removed those kind of middle bits, where as long as I got what I wanted, be it a holiday, a house, or a book, and the vendors or the sellers got cash, then everyone would win. And I can imagine there are things that I do now where in 10 years' time I will look back and I'll go, I can't believe I did that myself.
Yeah. And that is scary, isn't it?
Yeah, like, you know, this idea that I had to ring up and book a dentist appointment.
Yeah.
Like, why did I have to ring them?
Yeah.
My calendar was readily available, and they know when they've got free slots.
Come on.
Why are we having that conversation?
Yeah, come on, get it sorted.
So I could easily imagine having, you know, my AI kind of bot and the dentist's AI bot, and kind of going, oh, Mike, by the way, you've got this coming up. And like that just feels like a waste of my time having to ring them and go, hey, can we both agree something that I want and you have, and you know when you have it and I know when I'm free?
Yeah.
But we're going to have to talk to each other to do it. I can't imagine that.
So it's
being a thing.
Making our lives even easier.
I think I personally think it's like you shouldn't be worried about it replacing, but it should be enhancing. You know, like Mike says, they're doing the things that you'll look back on being like, I can't believe I used to do that. Like, you know, at the moment it's quite simple, I would say, even though it is great at the moment and impressive. It's quite simple, and like just doing certain things on it, it can do it like that. That might take you 10 minutes to work out or to write or to think of, or, you know, and it'll be things like that. I think, and I think that overall, that will mean that we spend less time doing these smaller things, like the calculator. I mean, you used to do before the calculator existed, you would do sums in your head, and now you have a calculator. You press some buttons, it does the calculation. And I think AI will end up in various formats as tools to take away jobs that are maybe boring or take too long for us.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, we've got one at the moment that we use called Pencil. Right, and I don't know if you...
It's one of those things.
No, it's it.
Yeah.
So that's
so
the
you
trick,
don't
right?
need to get the ink on the nib.
No, it's like more modern now.
Oh, I see.
So what... So imagine you need to create like, I don't know, say 10,000 images, and you don't want to pay people to do it.
Yeah.
No offense, guys.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
You know,
taken.
I don't do the image part, so it's okay.
Well, what you can do is you can kind of train it on your brand guidelines, and then it will go and produce them.
Yeah.
And you can just teach and learn and teach it how to get better until you get to a point where you've got a standard. So if someone says, look, Mike, we need 3 bullet points for the features and benefits of these products, how are we going to get it done? I can get it done literally in like a couple of days using that, or go and brief an agency to create all of them.
Or hire a load of people to do it.
Yeah, and that kind of works really, really well. And I think it will replace some jobs.
Yeah,
I mean, it's bound to, but I think
but it will create new jobs as well. I think there will be things that open up as a result of it, or because our time isn't being spent on some of those things, it can be spent elsewhere.
Yeah, and it might be a look where you can add value. I mean, you know, if you're having to resize an image, like that, there's no real value add in what you're doing. You know, you're just making it a different shape.
Yeah,
like that stuff. I can imagine, you know, Adobe doing that really, really well, and then you can focus more time on kind of the conceptual stuff. I imagine.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but there are some lovely ones though. I was playing one with a telephone.
You love a tool, don't you?
I do love a tool.
You love the latest tool as well.
I do love a tool.
Yeah.
So there's, I think it was called, I can't remember the name. Anyway, you ring it, and you can just talk to it.
Was it called Pen?
No, it wasn't called Pen.
Pen Pal?
I will find it. The link will be in the description below.
Oh, nice.
There we are. And you can kind of talk to it, and you can say like, look, what do you do? And it says, oh yeah, well I'm a chatbot, and essentially I can manage your calendar, I can do all this, I can do all that. So there will be a story, I guarantee it. You had it here first, where we'll sit round when the kids are older, we've got a bit more grey hair, and we'll go, do you remember when you had to go to speak to someone, press 1. To speak to accounts, press 2.
100%,
and we had to touch the buttons and like, why? What were they doing making us jump through those hoops? Guarantee that will be it. That will go. But there's no need for it. No need for it at all.
Sometimes you have the voice ones now. So if you want to talk to customer support, say customer support. You go, customer support. Sorry.
Yeah.
Customer support. Sorry. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm off.
Yeah, but all of that will go. And then I also think there's a nice kind of segment around changing media. So, you know, if you've read an article, do you want to listen to that article? Do you want to watch a video on that article? If there's a video, do you want to read about it rather than watch it? I think being able to change mediums, I think, is quite useful. And I think AI will be really good at doing that, because it seems bizarre that we can't choose the medium that we want to listen to stuff, you know, through. At the moment, I have to read the news on my phone. Why can't I listen to it in the car? Like that feels like a good opportunity where AI would be able to kind of stitch all that together, I think.
Yeah. I think from a marketing perspective, there's definitely it's already changing the industry. Yeah. I think on a social and like a general human level, the amount of problematic areas of AI is just, for me, is mind blowing.
Yeah.
The potential issues that it could already be causing, like just the deep fake stuff, the whole the stifling of creativity from a human perspective, the social element of
disinformation as well.
Disinformation, not talking, not communicating together anymore. It's
there's already
that's a really negative way of looking at it.
No, I think it's true. I think there's a reality there. It's just
on social media at the moment there is actually bot farms that spread misinformation and comment and chain comments and on certain posts, etc.
Yeah.
So as you go on Twitter and you look at some incident that's happened, maybe a political incident or something like that, or some, you know, geopolitical, whatever it is, and then there will be bots that basically boost and enhance this conversation, and then these people see these bot comments, but they just think they're other people and go, oh yeah, I agree with this, yeah. And actually it's a robot's written the whole thing. And people have found, like, you can trigger them if you can actually do like a chat, I don't know if you've seen it, but you do a chat GPT response to these blatant bots on Twitter, whereas like Margaret, you know, over there might just be like, oh yes, I agree with this kind of political point, but someone who's a bit more switched on realizes it's a bot, and they say like, they'll reply to the bot and say like, can you do 5 + 5, for example, and then it responds and goes, yeah, that's 10. And then they uncover that these bots that are like sat there actively, and you would never know until you actually give it a prompt to which it then responds to. the
I
prompt.
like that.
But because it's using these AI models, it is having conversations naturally in a way that most people goes undetected. And those responses are just natural based on the things it's responding to.
But those responses and that level of complexity is only going to get like more. It does feel like, you know, all the films that we watched in the 80s. Like, well, no, we didn't watch films in the 80s. In the 90s, that were probably films from the 80s. Like this whole, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like even Terminator or something like that. That's a silly, the most silly comparison
But
to AI.
I get your point.
Like, it's kind of happening.
Yeah, I mean,
Slowly.
I think it will. But I can imagine, like in the future, like maybe paying like a premium for like human content.
Like OnlyFans.
You're going to say human contact then?
Human contact.
Yeah.
like some OnlyFans.
Yeah. So it might be that. So you go, no, look, this article was written by a human.
Yes. Yeah. Actually.
What a
yeah. I never thought
beautiful
about it
thing.
like that.
And then you pay a premium for it, or you know you pay a premium for a film director because
or a musician. Like AI music's like, fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible, isn't it? Yeah, like I can imagine that being the case, because the noise will just be like.
I never even thought of it like that, but yeah, of course that'll happen, and that's good.
Think so. I think it's good. I just think to get to that point, you're gonna have to go through Margaret's situation where
and Terminator.
she gets
Sorry, Margaret.
she gets becomes an
Sorry,
extremist.
Yeah. He gets radicalized by the robots.
Radicalized Margaret.
Yeah.
Great band.
Yeah. Punk.
Yeah.
Punk band.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you anyway. Is there any, I suppose, lastly, what does the next kind of, like we've done 10 years of profound change in technology and marketing. You're just going to answer AI to this, aren't you? But what do the next 10 years look like? Does, like, for example, like TikTok, what's the next on social media? Is that it now? Because for me, of course it's not it, but TikTok's like, well, we've got like real good video on your phone. Like, what else could possibly happen?
My only hope, and this is
It's
a big
aspirational,
hope,
yeah.
which I believe to be true, and I can only see it going this way, is you can now buy like small phones that are like the size of a 3310. That used to be an old phone, a really small phone, and the sales of those phones are going through the roof.
Seriously?
There's a whole like
the microphone
market of people wanting simple.
Is it like me
things,
buying a
non-connected
PS1
things.
and playing my PS1 more than...
Yeah.
and I can imagine if there's so much bullshit going on with
Yeah.
your comments, your Margaret's not knowing what to say and all
Radicalized
that,
Margaret.
and what to read. I can just imagine that people will go back to a quieter time,
Yes.
and we will look back and go, God,
That was stressful.
We really thought for a second that it was really good to be on our phones for 8 hours a day.
What? That is
Like
a really positive way of looking at it, and I honestly hope that it doesn't go that way.
Things do tend to be somewhat cyclical, don't they, with things like that often, I feel like. But
Yeah.
but I don't know if the younger audience will not see it like that, whereas we've had it before. We've had a pre-social media world, whereas right now they're growing up with that just being the norm. Like that's the thing. Like the 3210 was mind blowing for us at the time, but for them, it's just an iPhone. Like that's what they start with. They start with they have nostalgia towards Fortnite.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I guess it's just more.
Fortnite is a retro game.
I guess it's just more. It's more this idea that doing more and doing stuff quicker is better.
Yeah.
Right? You know, the aspirations of good old Zuckerberg wanting to connect more people and have more things and doing more.
So, trendy Zuck is now. He's mad drip.
Mad drip. Does that mean he looks smart?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
he looks very smart.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that drive.
No cap.
he has nice hair.
Yeah.
Nice hair. Pretty ripped.
Like that drive to do more and to do stuff quicker and to go, "Ugh," like, that can't be good for anyone.
Quicker is not always better, is it?
Yeah. I was gonna say
No,
something.
it's not, Nick. it's not, and I challenge anyone to tell me otherwise. But I think look, that if the kids are looking at social media, I've been growing on iPhones and all that jazz. There's just got to be a bit of thinking: is this really as good as it gets? Is it?
Yeah.
I think we should probably treat data and content like we do diet. You know, I could easily eat burgers all day.
Yeah.
But it ain't good for me to eat burgers all day.
No.
And I need to have a balanced diet.
What if it's beyond meat?
Well, I might eat some of that as well.
Yeah.
But I think we should probably have a content diet.
Yeah.
And I like to think some people will go, actually,
Well, some people already do that.
This is just nonsense all day.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll have like Zuckerberg will come out and announce that Instagram's going to do square photos again. You know, square one by one photos.
We slowly just go back to what it was. I don't think that's going to happen.
No. But I think people just say, oh, sod this. Am I really meant to just be on the phone for 8 hours a day, like contacting everyone? Not really.
I think you're right.
I hope so.
I think you and I hope you're right as well. I do feel like there is some signs to suggest. I think the profound impact of social media on people's mental health is a clear, factor there.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't. I don't think it makes people happier.
No,
because you spend too much time comparing yourself to other people who you don't even know, and that's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
Anyway, on that note, on that lovely, happy note.
Look at that. I didn't mean to be all despairing and.
No, that was me, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were positive. I was Terminator.
Wow. I don't really know which way it'll
You
go.
were kind of mad.
I don't know if because kids are conditioned to have shorter attention spans, and that's just that's all you've had from the beginning. Then it's very hard to go the other way. But maybe, like say, maybe it would be like if you did go the other way, you'd be like.
But it is possible. It is possible. If it's good for you and there's a positive benefit, then.
Oh yeah, there'll be someone somewhere who will go on holiday, lose their phone in the airport, and go, "I had the best week of my life."
Yeah.
I could see the grass. Like the trees smell of something when it's 8 in the morning.
Yeah, the sky is amazing. It's blue,
and they'll do that.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
Well, we'll have to get you back in 12 months and see if we still think so positively or negatively.
I hope so. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mike.
It's always been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.